Artist to artist, venue to venue, another great interview brought to you by Spokane's newest online community, Spokane Music Mag. Spokane Music Mag.
Welcome, audiophiles. My name is Ron Robinson, and this is Spokane Music Mag. I'm here today with Circus.
Hey, what's up? Everybody
Hey!
Microphone!
Hey! Audio.
All right, we got a show coming up tonight at Cruisers out here in Post Falls, State Line, Post Falls. So let's go down the line here and introduce yourselves, guys. Who are we talking to?
This would be Alex Black on guitar.
I'm Derek Unger on bass and lead vocals.
I'm Devin Unger on guitar as well and vocals.
And I am Chase Height, and I hit shit with sticks and sing sometimes.
Oh, I forgot.
You can sing too.
Damn it!
Yeah,
we all do it.
All these guys sing. So you guys got an album out right now, Chemical Youth.
Yep.
Right, and
We recorded that. We've been touring on that for the last couple of years. We recorded it 2 years ago, and we've been touring on it every summer, pretty much in every fall. We've been on the road. We're touring that album. We've had some really cool times and really great experiences off that one album, and we're really looking forward to the new one that we're going to be letting out here pretty soon. By the end of this year, we'll have another one out. We're in the process of recording it right now.
I'm super stoked about the songwriting and the process of the songwriting that's going on right now. I just I enjoy playing the old stuff too, but just hearing, it sounds arrogant, but hearing the new stuff, I think this is something that I would listen to just because I like it. I like the way it sounds.
Yeah, we're not driving down the road
yeah.
Chemical Youth, doing
mopping out your own shit.
But we got some stuff on this one that I'm just it's gonna be tough to get tired of even playing it or listening to it. So
I don't know if you feel. I don't mean to interrupt. I don't know if you still feel the same way, but I mean, I caught a couple of videos. One of which I think all the rest of these guys were out getting fucked up, but you were sitting on the bus with with I think your dad and maybe a couple other people, but you were writing "Breathe." And just sitting there with the guitar, it was nice to be able to see, you in the process of some of the material that we're hearing on the record.
Yeah.
Can you guys talk to us a little bit more about the songwriting process and how that works with you guys?
It's been a lot more involved, I would say. Everybody's collaborating more than it was on the first record, and it's just gotten a lot deeper, I would say, too, the songwriting.
So, for instance, the first album we recorded, Chemical Youth, me and my brother, we've been playing in Circus for. I was 15 when I started.
7 years or something?
7, 8 years. Derek was 12. He's
Younger,
12.
Unger.
Yeah, on the stage at the clubs and stuff, opened up jacket and skinny jeans and he's 12 years old, singing Sebastian Bach parts and stuff. Anyway, so since that point to all the way up to the point that we released our first album, we had all that time to grow as a musician and grow as writers. So the songs on the first album have been a product of 5-6 years of us playing in a band and writing things. So as to where that one was more okay, we've wrote a couple songs really young with different people, and we wrote 2 more songs with some other people, and then we wrote some more songs with some other people, and then we finally found the lineup that has stuck, and we wrote a couple songs with there, and then we released the album. As opposed to being like that, now that we have that first one out and we have a solid lineup, now it's more as Derek was saying, involved, so we're all really, coming together on different ideas and concepts in the songs.
Yeah, it went from Derek, Derek and Devin had damn near everything written, before I showed up, and before Alex showed up, and so now that we have this, it's been a lot of, oh well, I've got this riff, check it out. Oh shit, that goes great with this one here. It's been definitely more collaborative. When I showed up, I was pretty much learning tunes. I'd already learned 3 or 4 when I showed up for the audition, and then we maybe wrote two or 3.
That first practice though. Remember that first practice? We totally just wrote this the coolest song that we've probably written on the Chemical Youth album. Well, I in my opinion, Ghost Pain. And that
Awesome song.
Yeah, we wrote that in an hour of just jamming and stuff. On the first day, we were oh, we gotta get this guy, the drummer, as the drummer.
Dude, in an hour? Really?
Yeah, something like that.
I hate all of you so much.
That's insane.
All right. No, it's actually been really awesome though. Especially with me coming to the band and being, the newest member, I was really, interested because I knew all the guys we had played together with me and my former band, and with these guys doing the Circus stuff. So I knew I got along with them, and I knew that we really gelled. but I wasn't sure, like, you know, if the dynamic was going to change when I joined the band, especially when it came to writing, just because writing could be such a personal thing.
Sure,
oh,
sure.
yeah. So, like, you know, writing being so personal and everything like that, I did a lot of, you know, songwriting. I did a good portion of the songwriting for the previous band that I was in, so when I joined Circus, I was excited to, you know, like, see how that went. And I was, you know, just kind of holding my reservations and making sure that, you know, I wasn't going to be overstepping my bounds. And, like, the instant I stepped in, they were like, no, like, ideas, like, please bring those in. And the thing that's really impressive from an outside perspective coming into it is, like, now all of the material that's going to be on this new record as opposed to the first one, it's matured a lot. The actual the subject matter has gotten a lot deeper. Like, the lyrics obviously are, you know, like, they're storytelling, or they're very evocative, and all of the songs are different and individual from one another, but all still play to the same, you know, key roles and still sound like Circus, which is really interesting to be able to be in a position where you've got a bunch of songs that span a varied range, but actually stay true to the heart of, you know, what it is that the band did originally. And it's really cool to be involved on the ground floor with.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Actually, I mean, you're talking about how you're worried about coming in and stepping on toes. I caught a story earlier today about having like 4 days to write and record your first solo with these guys. What do you?
Yeah, no. What ended up happening was they brought me over for the audition, and when they were like, "Hey, so here's the audition, here's the idea. These four songs are like the most difficult they've got. So if you can play those, you can play it all. So learn those and then pick 2 others that you'd like." And so I picked those and did them, and they were like, "Okay, you've got the spot. Now we're going to teach you the rest of the set." And they taught me all of the other stuff that went into the set. And I went home, packed my stuff, came back, and they were like, "Okay, so that one song that you were just improvising a solo for?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, here's a copy of the CD with a blank spot where your solo is going to be. Make a solo happen." I was like, "Okay, so how long do I have?" And they were like, "Well, it's Tuesday and we're doing it Saturday." And I was like, "Okay, so record-worthy solo by Saturday, like just cut and dry." They were like, "Yeah, pretty much, do that." I was like, "Oh, okay." Yeah.
It worked. You pulled
It
off.
it did work.
It's one of the coolest guitar solos we have in our set.
That's how it happens, man.
Oh,
It's that
that's so
magic.
sweet.
My guitar solo is better.
Oh yeah, dude. Actually,
lead
like
bass player right here.
lead bass.
bass.
Billy Sheehan here.
I just
Sorry,
actually
Billy
thought of
bass.
something the other day that would be pretty cool.
What would be pretty cool?
It was like a bass solo thing, and I was like finger tapping all over the bass neck.
Oh my God,
It's
Billy
cool.
Sheehan.
That started here.
Nice.
All right, guys. If you wouldn't mind, let's take a second, and I mean, you can talk about the stuff that you started on. We especially want to know about the stuff you're playing on now. But let's talk about gear. What are you guys using?
Oh, yes. All right. So actually, as far as like amps and things go, I have been a just avid supporter of PV gear for a while.
Right on.
First professional grade head that I ever got was a PV XXX, the OG ones that had, you know, like that had the mud flap girls all over the face of them.
Yeah.
Loved that amp. That one almost died in a house fire, like 2 weeks before a gig. So I got the upgrade because I wasn't sure if the amp would survive. And so now I'm playing on the XXX Mark II, and I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, and it's got great tone, very even overtones in the distortion, but still very organic. Responds very dynamically. It's got attack where I need it to without being ear piercing, and love that. And then I play on Schecter guitars because I love Schecter. My first guitar that was a serious guitar after I'd grown out of my learner's guitar, I got a Schecter, and then this one that I'm playing on right now is a Schecter Hellraiser with a neck through and a Floyd Rose on it, and I just really love it. It's beautiful and it plays excellently. And then when it comes to pedals, I switch up constantly.
Sure.
But mostly the ones that have stayed would be the Line 6 delay pod, just because it does everything you need. And as far as what Line 6 makes, other than their wireless systems, the other thing that I stick by would be their delay pods. Just because they've got a really good variance and sound really good, and they can mimic everything in a really good way. And then I've also got a TC Electronic. Yeah, I've got a TC Electronics flange chorus that's actually like one of the original generation, not one of the remakes. It's one that my dad bought from a friend of his for like $100 back in like '82.
Be playing on it when you're 70.
Yeah, and the thing is awesome. It's just got great tone. And so yeah, that's what I play on.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex.
I actually started out just being a singer. I wasn't playing bass before, so I just started out as a singer, and then later on, probably like 4 or 5 years into being a band, I started playing bass, and I started out. yeah, we couldn't even find a bass player. My dad had to play bass for us for a little bit because
Don't say just a singer either. Just a singer.
I was the lead singer,
There you go.
a pure lead singer, purebred. No, but I started playing my dad's bass stuff, so I use a Bassan cabinet, and tonight I'm using a Behringer, but I used to use a Bassan cabinet a lot, and I have like an entire wall of basses, so just whatever I choose on the wall is what I get to play.
Oh darn.
And but now I play usually the Behringer with an Ashdown head, and I play a Phoenix too, which is like it's the LTD version of the Gibson Thunderbird, and it sounds really good. It sounds like big. I think I'm even gonna play it tonight. I jump between the 30th anniversary bass and the Phoenix every once in a while just because they're both really good.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's what I play.
So I grew up playing on ESP guitars just because that's what was readily, easily available in my household when I was growing up as a child. And so I played that guitar, fell in love with it, been using the same guitar ever since. So ESP, I have a couple others now that I use, but I still use them. ESP, I like that company. As far as a head and cab go, I started out on a Marshall JCM 2000 and some Marshall cabs, and then I moved to a B52 setup that I'd got from a friend that owns a music store in Tacoma, just about 15 minutes away from our hometown. Now, for the last pretty much ever since we started touring this album,
2 years now.
2 years, I've been playing Ingle. So I have Ingle Savage 120 head, which is a European boutique head. And I have a Ingle cab with some special speakers, some Eminent speakers wired into them from Mike Sodano from Seattle. Anyway, I picked that setup from right before we recorded the album. I started using it and fell in love with it, and so I've been using that ever since. So Ingle and ESP.
Beautiful. Thanks, Tim.
And I've been playing on. I guess I started on an Infinity drum set. Guarantee no one will know what that means.
I'm a drummer, so I'm speaking your language. The rest of the stuff I pick up
that,
on. But
I don't know. It was here, DMS, Discount Music, over on Celtice. I got that. I think I was 12. Played on that for 3 or 4 years. And then I don't remember what I had, like a Pearl Export or something was my upgrade. And then once I got out of high school, moved to Seattle and hooked up with these guys, I got started with PDP stuff. I've been playing a PDP X7. I think, what did I have? Had a bunch of like the DW 5000 and 9000 hardware. Primarily Sabian cymbals, usually. That's the goal. Right now, most of those got trashed, so I've got a mix of things on the rack. But now I'm still playing an X7, upgraded with a double kit. The new DW machine drive pedals are what I'm stomping on, and I couldn't say
like butter, huh?
I don't think my feet have ever touched anything that have felt like just so perfect. Like out of the box, I think I had to do one slight tweak, and they've been perfect. They're probably the best pedals I've ever played.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, and ProMark sticks. They're what's up. Use them,
Hey,
everybody.
Keep the mic for a second, Chase, while we got you down there. I want to talk about this story about Vinnie Paul from Pantera actually requested a little special attention from you guys.
Yeah, we were in Dallas with Metal Church, and I guess is it Kurt? Is it Kurt that's been friends with them for a while? I mean, like the band in general is kind of like, been friends with the Abbott family for a long time, and so. When we actually were in Vegas, hell yeah, this is with the Armored Saint and Metal Church when we did that like a year and a half ago. He came out and was checking the show out, but then when we were in Dallas, he was there for the whole show, so he got to see us. And when we were done, we were at our merch booth, just like selling merch, signing stuff off. And one of our guys came down and was like, "Hey, you guys need to hurry up. Vinnie Paul's upstairs and he has requested your presence." We're just like, what? The hell did you just say? Like, are you serious right now? And so yeah, we go upstairs. He, gave him an album. He said he loved the stuff we were doing. It was just he was really cool dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean, cool. It was like one of the coolest experiences. We just walk up, start taking pictures. He starts like telling us that, "Hey, you guys are fucking awesome. Like, you guys are super rad." I'm just like, Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Was that the first time? Yeah, right. Was that the first time you had run into one of your? I mean, I'm assuming he was a pretty big influence.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been a Pantera fan for a long time. Like Vinnie Paul
Sure.
is like one of the top tier drummers in my book. But like I've met playing with Metal Church, Jeff Plate, who played with TSO and Savatage, and that was a big cool deal. But they're really, I can't think of really anybody else that we've really met that really did that to me. Like that was like drum god idol. So for me in particular, that was like a huge freak out moment. Like that's one of those like really cool things that'll stick with you for a long time. But who else have we played with that like really did that?
Before you were in the band, we got to play with. Before you were in the band, we got to play with not with Vince Neil, but we got to play at Vince Neil's like after show party. So we went and saw Motley Crue, and then we had a gig afterwards. And I couldn't really sing because I sang or like I screamed so loud at the Motley Crue show. But anyways, we were playing Wild Side, and he used to sing Wild Side. And I don't know. I guess everyone said that Vince got super stoked when we started playing Wild Side. And then it was the same thing. He requested us to go back and meet him. And that was sick. That was definitely like one of those moments for me because I've always looked up to Vince Neil since I was a little kid. So.
Yeah, he calls back. The club is completely packed, right? It's completely packed, shoulder to shoulder, standing room only, and we just got done playing like an hour and a half set. We did some originals. Back then we didn't have enough originals to fill up an entire set, so we had to do some covers as well in order to fill up the entire set.
Sure.
We played like Wild Side and a couple of songs that we loved to listen to, and then our originals. And he totally loved us. He had us come back to his area. Of course, he's all like roped off. He's got like a glass of wine and like two hot chicks on each side of him, just totally like rock starred out, and he's shaking our hands and giving us hugs and just like, yeah, you guys are badass, man. You guys remind me of me when I was your age, but better, and just giving us all these compliments, and just it was awesome, man. He's been doing this for years. He's like, keep doing what you're doing. I can't wait to party with you when we're all famous. So that was same kind of thing that was one of those moments where I was like, that's the kind of stuff that you remember even when times get tough on the road and stuff, you remember things like that, and you're like, Jesus, that actually happened. Let's, we can get through this.
Yeah. Awesome. That's actually a pretty good segue into one of these other questions that I forgot to talk to you guys about earlier. But you guys have been at it for a good 7 years now, 6-7 years. It's been almost 8.
At least, yeah.
At least. So you guys have learned a lot. I mean, along the way, you guys have done
Definitely.
a lot, you've learned a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that are watching right now might just be starting out. They might even just be thinking about picking up their first instrument, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So looking back on the things that you've learned over the last 6, 7, 8 years, what would you tell somebody that's starting out right now to help them out?
Okay, if you have a passion for music, if you really have a passion for music, and that's what you want to do with your life, and you've chosen, like, don't give up. Just don't give up, and always push yourself to be a better musician. You're never good enough. Trust me. Even if you think you're good, you're never good enough. So
one of my big problems. I don't mean to interrupt you. It's one of my big problems. I see these like 5-year-old prodigies or people that just blow me out of the water. I've been at it for 20 years. I'm like, why do I even try?
But I mean, seriously though, if you really love music, don't give up. And if you do really love music, you won't give up. So I don't even. That goes without saying.
So like as far as guitar players, anybody that wants to pick up a guitar, it's a really, really good time to be playing guitar nowadays. With YouTube out, you can learn anything you want for free. Start out with easy stuff and progress to harder things. You will blow your mind in just a few months if you just do a daily routine, an hour or two a day, learn a YouTube video or a solo, or learn your favorite song, or just learn songs that you like to listen to, and you will naturally grab some of the stylistic characters of that player. And you do that with 10, 20 different bands or players, and you're going to create your own style out of that. And YouTube, you can learn anything. Like I said, you can learn anything on YouTube. Used to be people would have to listen to the album and hear the notes out note for note just to play the solo, but not nowadays. So just
Cool.
Just? Yeah. No, on the note of learning, by the way, like going away from the whole instrument-centric thing, but as far as people who might be going out there and they're with their first band and they're just getting their first gigs and whatnot, never underestimate what listening to someone else who knows better than you or looks like they know better than you can do, for all possible reasons, but in particular ones that are really important would be, one, you're never sure who can teach you what in this industry. There have been some gigs that I come up to, and the best advice I've gotten came from the drunkest person at the show. And there are also times where the person who I thought really knew what they were talking about really didn't in the end, But regardless, whenever someone's coming to you and they look like they know better than you do, and this especially for people who are starting out, listen to them. Because also, if you are the kind of person who's willing to listen, you become the kind of person that people want to teach. And like Derek said, you are never a master. So even once you feel like you know the industry, you still don't really know what you're doing, and everyone's flying by the seat of their pants. So every little bit of information you can get really helps when it comes to that.
Regardless of whether it's music related or not, I mean, you have something to learn from everybody, right?
Yeah.
So
Well,
hopefully they know something about music.
Even if you get into the situation where somebody thought they knew something, you still learn that people bullshit in this industry. So
The greatest
there you go.
lesson you can learn.
that is the greatest lesson. You, as much as you want to learn from everyone, you also can't trust them.
So take every piece of advice with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
But take every piece of advice.
From a
Good
drummer
stuff right here.
standpoint, like, don't get discouraged. And it's not even a drummer standpoint, like from a drummer standpoint, it's hard to start playing, and it like improving, like the speed that you improve at, depending on if it's fast, slow, it'll never feel like it's going fast enough. So you're gonna get pissed, like all the time. But the don't get discouraged also goes with, you'll be playing shows with one person, 2 people in the room, and at the time that it happens, it really sucks. You don't want to be on stage anymore. You're just like, this is dumb. I want to go home. Like, this is.
I took all weekend off for this. Like,
Yeah, exactly. But there are a lot of times where we had this one in LA. It was basically the size of our trailer. This whole fucking room was the size of our trailer, and there was just people coming in and out for like the 2 acts, the 3-4 acts that were before us, and it was like 2-3 people at a time, and then they just leave. And when we went up, it was one of the other bands. There was like 3 of them that stayed because they wanted to hear, and they went nuts. They were like moshing with themselves, crowd surfing with 2 dudes holding up 1 dude. I mean, and when we got there and we saw the place and we saw how it was being run, we're just like, damn, this sucks. Like we drove to LA, and like this is what's gonna happen. Like people are here, but then they immediately leave. They show up for the person that's on and then just dip out. But then these guys who didn't have to stay, but they felt the same way that we do. It's like, when you're at a show, you're at the show. Doesn't matter if you're on first, last, in the middle. Like, you show up, you support, and that's what they did. And they made us feel, awesome. It was worth playing that show because they were having such a kick-ass time. Yeah, I mean, so in that
it's a two-way street, man. You get what you get.
exactly,
and,
and that's kind of like, it was after that we kind of had that epiphany. It's like, it doesn't matter if there's 1 person, 100 people, 1,000 people, everyone gets the same show, no matter what, every single night. And that so far has seemed to like really work for us. If you give it your all every night, you walk away, even if there's no one there, you walk away feeling good about what you did, for that day.
You never know who that one person might be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
Good
could
point.
always
Very good
be
point.
somebody.
Nice.
So yeah, don't get discouraged, and as a drummer, just practice your ass off.
Thanks a lot, you guys.
Always the practice. No, the one that was funny, like, about that, though, like, the first band that I was ever in as a guitarist was actually, my dad was the vocalist for it. And so it was my first time playing in front of shows. And so the first show I ever had, like, my family, like, they called all of our family friends and everything. It was a local show. So everyone came out to support me. So, like, the first show I ever played with an actual band was, to, like, a packed house. Second show I ever play was to, like, crickets and, like, 2 people. And so I made the mistake, and I was just pissy. I didn't put on a good show. I wasn't, thrashing around the way you're supposed to. And my dad comes up to me, and he says, I'm going to give you this 1 pass because you don't know any better. But if I ever see you playing a show for 2 that you wouldn't play for 2,000, I will kick you out of this band.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I got to get this moving forward a little bit. Before we get off here, is there anything, well, I know there is. I just want you guys to talk about it. Stuff coming up here. You talked about the record that's coming out. You guys got a couple of shows coming up as well. You guys want to tell us about that real quick?
Yeah, we're playing tomorrow night at the Third Wheel,
Yep,
Lewiston, with Homewrecker, which is his
Double duty
his dad's
tomorrow,
band
huh?
now.
No, actually.
You're not gonna jam with them?
They've got, huh?
You're not gonna jam with them?
We haven't decided.
That's
Get
fucked
everybody
up.
on stage.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool, dude. You should.
I should, but like also at the same time, I don't want to step on any toes.
Yeah, sure.
'Cause, yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, step on those toes, bro.
Oh, Derek, step on those toes, bro.
All right, one last thing. You guys got content online here. I actually just bought your record a couple days ago. I found it on
Sweet.
iTunes. Is there anywhere else that people can find
iTunes
videos, or I mean, you got a Facebook as well,
Yeah.
obviously.
iTunes, you can find merchandise and stuff like that. You can get it through us on Circus Band on Facebook and Spotify,
CD Baby,
CD Baby,
Reverb Nation.
Reverb Nation,
Everything's on
YouTube.
YouTubes.
Definitely
Behind the
YouTube.
scenes and stuff on YouTube's, and there will be much
Yeah.
coming out very
Yeah,
soon.
so you like and subscribe, and you'll see whenever we get our videos out, and especially new music. So if you like our music, definitely subscribe, and you'll see some of our new stuff. And that's
Upcoming shows, though.
upcoming shows. Yeah.
Upcoming shows, we do have a tour that we're looking at right now. The album's going to be out very soon, so keep her out for that. That'll be on our Facebook and everything. But tomorrow night we're at the Third Wheel. The next weekend after that, we're actually playing back in our hometown, well, close to our hometown, Tacoma, with Metal Church at the Cultural Event Center. We're playing with Puddle Mud here on a 3-day.
July something.
July 8th,
I believe. Yeah.
July 8th, we're going to be with.
9th. It's got like 2 days on the fly.
July 8th, we're going to be with Puddle Mud, and we do a lot of touring in between, shows here and there. So we'll be in a town near you eventually, probably sooner than later, probably.
Right.
Look at that.
St. Circus Band, be there, be square.
Oh, no. Not ending it with that.
Thanks a lot, guys. All right, Sin Circus, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Ron Robinson with Spokane Music Mag. We want to say quick shout-outs. Anybody?
Hi, Mom.
I knew that was coming.
Mom, Dad, Slim Jim, Johnny, Jim. No,
All the haters and losers.
yeah.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's pretty
Everyone
much
Sorry
it.
that's
about
going to
that.
be here tonight at Cruisers.
All our
Shout out
friends-
to all them.
All
Of
our
course,
friends
thank
and
you,
family.
Cruisers Bar and Grill. We also want to give a shout-out to Finger Swagger and Sidelight Productions. All right, gents, I think that's it. That's
Thank
a wrap.
you.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Rock on.